everybody. First of all, SGS, of course, is the world's leading inspection, verification, testing, and certification company. Before I present to you some key information of the latest technology that we implement, I'd just like to show to you a video. This was a video taken from a GPS and using the technology. Please look at this. This is, you would see a grab, which is a device lifting the cargo product outside of the ship. Is it clear? Oh, it's not so clear. Okay, there. You would see that's a grain commodity, and you would see somebody crawling over there, getting on board. They're getting on board to try and steal some of the grains and put it on the small vessel. Watch it. This is reality. They didn't know that this has been taken through one of the technologies we implement in China. This was in China, okay? So our clients here is we've given them inside information of what's happening. We don't have police authority. It's up to them what to do with it. But this is a local service in China. It's just to show to you of many modus operandis that happens in smuggling in many ways. And then you see they're hiding because they see the grab is going to pass through again, or somebody is walking there on the other side, you see? Somebody walking, so they're hiding for the moment, and because the grab is coming through again, the grab to take the commodity off to a bigger vessel. So, okay, I think the point has been driven. Thank you, and I'll go to my presentation already. Basically, it's just to let you know this is happening worldwide, and this is in China. And I will tell you a little bit about that service, but what I'll present to you more is what is the global. But first of all, let's just indulge me to tell you about SGS. We've been founded in 1878. We started in the inspection of grain, and then later on we have diversified to the inspection, testing, certification in other commodities like the mining, minerals, oil, gas, and chemical, consumer products, industrial sector, and many others. We are over 80,000 employees present in 140 countries with over 1,650 offices and laboratories operating all over. Our 80,000 employees are mostly scientists, laboratory analysts, inspectors, auditors, and all of whatever that is operating for a world's leading inspection company. Okay. We have 10 business lines: the agricultural services, consumer, environmental systems, ISO, industrial, government services, which is the government services is the department that used to have the contract with the Philippine Bureau of Customs, Department of Finance here, which is what our friend Richard mentioned, that in 1986 to year 2000, we used to do a pre-shipment inspection and we issue you a clean report of findings before you can release your cargo in the country. So it is that department that does that, okay? The oil, gas, and chemical, the life sciences, automotive, minerals. So you see, we're present in 10 business lines that does inspection, testing, verification, audit, certification. One thing I'd like to give you as an example so that you can have a little bit of an appreciation. In the oil, gas, and chemical division, you know that President Obama was recently in the Philippines or passing through Guam and things like that. We inspect the fuel for Air Force One, the jet fuel for Air Force One. And when he was here recently, we, of course, inspected that and tested before it is loaded into the Air Force One, before he can go aboard the airplane and go back to the United States. So, you know, we weren't sleeping the night he was flying. I want to make sure he lands in America safely. That means our test, of course, is correct. So it's just to tell you that's one of the things that we do amongst the 10 business lines. It's very sophisticated. Now, I will now go to the main content of my presentation, enough of the promotion about our company. I will tell you about very briefly of the bulk and breakbulk program, the real-time monitoring logistics that you've just seen, that is very local, and more of our global service in supply chain security and visibility. You see, in the bulk and breakbulk, I don't know if any importer are here. If you are importing into the country in bulk or break bulk, grains, rice, oil, petroleum, diesel, sugar, or should I say coffee, metal, steel, if you're importing it in bulk and break bulk, you are subject to an inspection at the country of origin before you can ship it into the Philippines. I will issue you a report called the Load Port Survey Report. I give a copy of that to the Bureau of Customs so that they can do an advance clearance whether they will alert your order or let it go. So they do, but the objective of which is to facilitate your release prior to even arrival of your goods in the country. The regulation that administers this, Administrative Order 243-A, this has been existing since 2009. So we are one of the major accredited companies. This is not the same as the pre-shipment inspection contract we used to have in 1986 to 2000. Because our contract before, I give you an opinion on duties and taxes, of how much you're supposed to pay duties and taxes at the Bureau of Customs. This program does not give duties and taxes opinion. I give the full quality and quantity report that I have seen at the port of loading, and I give a copy of the report to Customs and to you. But the copy of the report I give to Customs is much more comprehensive, that they can do their risk analysis so that they can do their job to facilitate trade or manage the risk in favor of the government. Something that I wanted to stress here is that there is an amendment, Customs Administrative Order, that is planned to be implemented in 2015. And I want to let you know before the year comes. The program of the bulk and break bulk is going to be expanded to container shipments. There are about, in the statistic, I saw somebody react, oh my gosh. It's true. Their intent is that is the plan. They've drafted the Customs Administrative Order already, but they haven't signed it yet because they said they don't want to sign it yet at this point or to push through with it yet for this year because of the port congestion. Clear the port congestion first before any new introduction of programs. That is their stand at the moment. There are about, if I'm not mistaken, 95,000 containers coming into the country each month, and 40% of that comes from China. Okay, so just to let you know, I just wanted to let you know that this is coming. The draft has been done. It's just that originally it was going to be implemented in June. It got moved in August. It got moved in October. Now it got moved in January. The reason is because of the port congestion, as they say, and other issues that they want to clear first. So, but right now, the bulk and break bulk, if your shipment is by bulk or break bulk, it is covered already by the program, okay? So, just to show you that we are an accredited cargo surveyor for the program. The accreditation is done by the Department of Finance with various members from Customs and the private sector. This I won't have to explain, but it's just tell you who are the participants of it. SGS abroad, the seller, the Philippine importer, the SGS Philippines here, and the Bureau of Customs. But what's important is we are obligated as a cargo surveyor to give a copy of the Load Port Survey Report to the Bureau of Customs at least 12 hours before arrival of cargo, so that then they can do their advance clearance. The earlier the better, but that's the limit we are given, 12 hours. Just to let you know, because then it will facilitate trade, which is the intent of the program, is trade facilitation. We do not give duties and taxes opinion in this program. We only give a copy of the report and what Customs do with it in order to support the trade facilitation and risk management program of the country is what it serves for. Okay. Now, the video you've seen earlier is from China. It's the real monitoring system for the whole process of logistic chain for China. We haven't offered this outside, but there's another service I will show you later, but this one I will just breeze through. That was a monitoring real-time picture on long distance by internet. The product is used on some sensitive area or high alert. System could monitor on long distance, record picture to play back. It can also be played on mobile phone by 3G. Okay, this is just some graphical. It's basically saying that it's monitoring it from the original storage, whether it's transported by sea or by truck or by land, then it's going to monitor until the storage B. And application is also on the inland water transportation. It's real-time monitored. There's a staff on duty to monitor it, data save. There's a lot of systems warning or alert, and the exact positioning is mentioned. But I'd like to let you know this is local in China. So these are just the pictures that were taken from the video. So you see the clarity of the photos in here that is given to the client. Just another a picture of that. And to give you an idea that in 2013, one of our clients in China, basically the control, it reduced the cargo loss is at the rate as near as 32%. So at least 32% of their typical cargo loss has been monitored more effectively. That's the local one. But the most important one I wanted to introduce to you is a more global monitoring system, which is a global supply chain security and visibility. This is the latest product line of SGS under our government services industry line. But of course, the clients here are usually the private sector. This is called Omnis. Omnis is a business partner of SGS. So it is in response to the continued global increase in the cargo theft. SGS has launched a new trade security program called Omnis, which is a partnership with Savvy Technology. You see, the Savvy Technology has over 40 patents in trade security and currently has over 4 million sensors deployed worldwide using the Savvy solution. So basically, you see, these are the seals that is applied into the cargo. Okay? In 2013, the cargo theft in the United States increased by 28%, and in Europe by 24%, and the average cost per incident is about $186,000. That information is not a statistic done by SGS, but it came from the Fleet Owners magazine. It's lifted from that magazine. In addition to the loss of cargo, suppliers suffer the additional cost of disrupted operations, of course, the high insurance and premiums, the loss of market share while goods are replaced. In Asia, according to the Freight Watch Supply China Intelligence Center, they singled out China, India, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam as the high-risk countries for cargo theft. This is according to this magazine, okay? And the most frequently stolen goods in the Philippines are food and drinks, electronics, refined sugar, and gasoline. 40% of cargo theft occurs in the National Capital Region. Okay. Talking of gasoline, we actually have a different project with the government, which is what we call oil marking. We mark the oil coming out of the duty-free zone, and then if I find that marker, which is not visible to the eye, and I find that marker into the gas station, that means they did not pay duties and taxes. And so customs will then do their job in order to go for either prosecution or closure of that particular retailer of gas. This particular marker is used by many other private companies, not just for identification of duties and taxes losses, but for branding purposes, to protect their brand. Shell is one of the main clients, for example, of another company who we do it, Authentics. Anyway, so as I was saying, fuel privilege, siphoning of diesel fuel from trucks and vessels is also rampant with stolen diesel openly sold along the highways, Bataan and Pampanga. So you see, this is prevalent in Asia according to this Freight Watch Supply Chain Intelligence. Now, the Omnis global supply chain visibility among the major concerns of the largest global corporations is the regulatory compliance. 64%, when you ship goods into the country or any other country, one of your concern is regulatory compliance. What do we mean by regulatory compliance? Whether your goods conform to the standards of the country and allow you to import the goods. In the Philippines, this is monitored by the Bureau of Product Standards. You import it with either the ICC or the PS or the Philippine standards. So you want to make sure that your goods arrive in the country of destination complying to the standards. Otherwise, if it doesn't comply, it is stopped in the country or shipped out or rejected by the client or by the government. While 59% is because of product security. You know, you want to be secured whether it's your product reaching the destination successfully without any pilferage. Now, and the other 53%, of course, they say their issue is product damage or spoilage. It is getting damaged along in transit, going to its destination. So these are the major concerns of the largest global corporations. regulatory compliance, product security, and product damage and spoilage. The Omnis is a service for exporters that, you know, for most exporters, there is a constant concern of not knowing where the goods are at any particular time. Whether they have actually reached the premises of the importer or whether they are stuck in a container yard in the foreign port, okay? So the Omnis is going to provide you a solution on that basis. The Omnis will enable the owners of the goods to keep a constant track of their location and condition anywhere in the world. So it's not just location, but also in some level of its condition. It provides a combination of hardware, analytics, application, and security services in 3 different bundles and with 3 different pricing options. Omnis is a web-based technology. It's a software as a service. The subscriber has a password access to the location of its own goods anywhere in the world and can receive real-time information alerts. Okay, there is a container. When a container seal is broken without authority, it will give an SMS alert or email or whatever is the latest technology to inform the subscriber of the service. If the container seal is broken, if the goods or vehicles are diverted from a pre-arranged route or location within the geofence, so it will see that it's going into the wrong route that it was designed for. Goods or vehicle remain stationary in excess of certain pre-programmed time. It's taking too long to be there, okay? Vehicles exceed a pre-programmed speed limit, you know. Of course, what's happening in many countries is sometimes containers are hijacked or containers never go shipments, for example. So these are the things that it can provide you information. The Omnis real-time alerts are also the fuel tank of a vehicle. It will alert when the fuel tank of a vehicle is opened. So if it gets open, it will alert the subscriber. And if the hatches or valves of a tanker and truck are open at an unauthorized location. So it would say the hatch has to be open only at this place. If it's open outside of the place identified or programmed, it will alert the subscriber. And a container exceeding a certain temperature, if it suddenly exceeds the temperature exposure, it will also alert to the subscriber. And devices sensor that stops transmitting. It will alert that it's not anymore reading what it's supposed to read. Okay? So you would see here, these are the various seals that are applied. These are the seal fuel tank. This is the seal for the battery to prevent the theft of fuel battery. This is the seal outlet ports. Any unauthorized opening of temperature goes beyond the threshold will trigger an alert to the command center and then give the information to the subscriber. This is another interesting thing, is to ensure authorized driver is on the wheel when the vehicle is moving. Missing associated will trigger alert to command. So it has to be the authorized driver only. And many other of those other seal on the manholes of the BLC and so forth. So these are just some of the devices. It is not a GPS tracking system only. It provides actually a total security solution for your cargo across international boundaries. So this is just a macro view of the new product line of SGS, but I just like to just remind you we are present in 10 business lines: the mining, oil, gas, and chemical, consumer testing, agricultural products, life sciences, government services, certification, and so forth. This is just one of the new things that we have introduced in order to assist into the international trading. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.